Hello, friends. This is Caleb Warnock, and we're going to make more botanical paint. And because it is a freezing cold, it's like 25 degrees outside, and there's snow on the ground. And so I did not go find any flowers or leaves or bark or anything. I'm hoping that there will still be some this week, but I have a whole box full of dried flowers that we can use to paint in the winter. This is a whole sack full of purple iris blossoms. And this is one of them. And we're just going to take some of this. In fact, that's probably too much. And let's just move this over to the side. When you're using a molar, which if you've watched this channel, you've seen me work with this molar. When you're using a molar to crush flowers into water, dried or fresh, then you don't want to use too much because it takes too long. So I've just added a couple drops of water, and this is very dry. This flower is very dry. I mean, I think this bag of flowers was from this year. I believe it was from this year, and it was probably picked in late May, early June, I'm thinking. So, and now it's November, so it's been a while, the flowers, but they were picked at the peak of their color. And I picked them specifically because I knew that one day the snow would come back and, irises don't last forever. Earlier this year, Gwen Stefani and Blake Shelton released that new song, Purple Irises. So now when I paint with irises, I think because I like Gwen Stefani's music, and so now I think of that new song, Purple Irises. But look what a nice purple color that makes. Now wait till we add some mordants and you see what kind of fun colors we can make using the mordants. Let's scrape all of this together. And if this is the first time you have watched one of these videos, then you should know that a mordant is any kind of thing that you can add to change colors or intensify colors. And a lot of mordants these days are harsh chemicals, but I only use natural ingredients. So let's clean this molar off because, as I've said before, we don't want any of this drying on the molar because the longer it's on the molar, the harder it is to get clean. And I'm going to take this and bring some of it, not too much of it, over here. And we'll add, so this is just fresh. Maybe we should do I guess not fresh, it's plain is what I'm trying to say. Here's the art notebook. And let's add a touch of water to the brush. We don't want to get this too wet. And take some of this purple, and I'll just show you what a good paint that is. Oh, I'm always filming upside down. Don't worry, guys. One day I will be so smart that I can figure this out. Okay, so there's the purple. Let's see if we can get that a little darker purple. So there's a medium purple and there's a darker purple, and that's just from grinding up those iris petals into water. Now, if we take that same paint and we add a little bit of citric acid, and I'm just using powder of citric acid, which you can buy in the canning aisle of the grocery store. You've seen me show you this before. I mean, you don't have to use that brand, but there's lots of, I mean, in the canning aisle, whatever brand they've got will do just fine. And see, did you see that? What just happened there? It turns a sort of, it's gone from purple to violet. Now let's take that up. See that? All we did was add in citric acid, and that is called a mordant. And look, this is beginning to dry a little blue. And if we add alum, usually we can get blue out of purple iris. If we add alum, alum is from the baking aisle in the grocery store. Here is the alum right here. And we'll want to take some of this and just add just the tiniest bit, and maybe 1 drop of water. Don't want to put too much water, because the more water you put in there, the more it's going to dilute the color, and we want to keep our colors strong. If you put a bunch of water in there, all you're going to get is pale, washed out color. Okay, now we put a little bit of alum in there. And that's still looking purple, but I bet that will dry toward this blue side of things. Although it's looking kind of violet here. So let's put that on there and see if that dries. It's already starting to look blue on the paper. Can you guys see how blue that's turned almost instantly? And that's just with the alum. And then we have one more magic trick. If we get out the if we get out the hydrated lime. So hydrated lime is calcium limestone that has, it's just a form of calcium. It is limestone that has been heated to about 2000 degrees. And then once it is heated to 2000 degrees, and I have a backyard kiln that I made myself because I do pottery, and I have actually done this. You can take limestone, and if you can get it hot enough, even in my kiln, I mean, this is the way it's been done for thousands of years. You put it in the fire and get it quite hot. And you guys can probably see what's happening. Then it just turns into powder all by itself, which was important through the whole history of the world, because without electricity or gasoline, what we're going to use to powder stone, you know, it turns out that if you can get a hot fire in a kiln, having a kiln is what enables you, the design of the kiln, the draft, they call it the draft of the kiln, which is a function of the design of the kiln. Are you all fascinated by this subject? You probably don't care at all, but anyway, you can make this powdered limestone with even out of eggshells or out of limestone, is my point. And it's not too hard. Okay, so look, we've got, this is the plain, this is the purple, this is the violet, and we added the alum and it's blue. And now with the limestone, you can already see that it has gone almost a jewel turquoisey green, which I think is so much fun. And that's it. I mean, those are the colors. I think that's all the colors that I usually get out of the dried purple iris blossom. I should just write on here that this is lime, this is alum, this is citric acid, this is, oh gosh, oh no, these are the same. This is just thicker. This is plain, and this is plain with thicker paint. And that's a really nice range of colors. And so now we could take that and do some fun flowers. So let's do that. Look, I just love those colors. Okay, I'm going to set this just off to the side a little bit and take some more of the petals. I'm trying to avoid getting the base in here because the base will just dilute the color. I just want the good purple petals in there without getting too much of the outer brown petals, because that's not going to help us out. And there are some of the outer brown petals in there, because what can you do? However, it's going to take too long to mull all that, so let's not use too much here. This is about as much as I want to mull in one go. And also look at the color of this water. Isn't that, I don't know if you guys can see that very well or not, but that's just purple iris and some indigo. That's all I've done today in that water is iris and indigo. Okay. And look, this is not, I mean, do you even need indigo if you have purple iris? And purple irises are everywhere in the spring. And all you have to do is let them, I just air dried them. I think I put them on a plate, like a kitchen plate, and just let them dry for a week or two. Okay, I'm gonna add, this is a little bit dry, so I'm gonna add 2 more drops of water. Again, it's so important to not add too much water. You can always add a little more water, but you cannot take away water. If you've added too much, it's going to dilute that color. Now over here, where there was still a little bit of that alum left from a minute ago, it's already started to turn blue over there, which is just a testament that you need to clean your mordants, because even the residual of a mordant is going to change the color. And we don't want all of this to change blue, because we want to make all of these colors. So see the importance of making it in a clean environment, I guess. Not contaminating your paint with your old paint. Okay, so I'm going to scrape all this over to the side. And we want to clean this molar, we want to clean our molar off while it's still fresh on there, because then it's easy to get off. And if we wait very long, it won't be easy. And then I want to clean this board off a little bit, because we're going to mull some of those mordants in. And then what I want to do, what I did the other day, you know, at the end of the day, I just try to find something fun to do. I did not video this. It took me quite a while to do this. This was all done with fresh flowers, and it takes so long to set up the video and everything that I just didn't do it. But that's what I want to do. Is this is kind of ethereal flowers that, you know, may or may not look like anything in the real world. But to, you know, if you're doing fine art and you're trying to make things that look like something in the real world, I think that's one thing. But if you're doing ethereal, you can, it's more relaxing to do things that are whimsical and ethereal, because you don't have to feel like you're grounded, that you have to make things that look like they're from the real world. Does that make sense? I hope. And I've just put a light coat. I've got quite a bit of water in, and this is just plain purple iris. Quite a bit of water, and then we can make whatever patterns we want. I'm just going to, in this thick part, I'm just going to take and put little dots of this thicker paint on there. And then that kind of makes it start to look like a flower, don't you think? And again, we don't want it to be too realistic, because that's not fun. That's fine art, and fine art is hard work. And we don't want to do hard work. We're just trying to relax and have a good time. Okay, so now I'm going to take some of this. We've got quite a bit of paint on the spatula. Might as well clean that off and use that. And we'll look at our color swatch again. And we're for sure going to want to make citric alum and lime. So let's do the lime right here. Where did my lime go? And if we get too much lime in here, it can destroy the color, because lime is really high on the pH scale. Lime is like an 11 or 12 on the pH scale. And if you get too much lime in here, it'll not only destroy the color, it will also destroy the paper. It'll slowly eat holes in the paper, just the way that if you get too much bleach on fabric, it will turn that, it'll make holes in the fabric. So we don't want to do that. We just don't put too much in, is what I'm trying to say. Because even though this is not fine art, it's just fun art, we don't necessarily want it to all, be destroyed in a week or something, because it may not destroy it overnight, but it will over time. If it's got too high of alkali content in it, it can certainly just, ruin the whole thing. And, as I said, it's just fun, so it's not like a national tragedy if anything gets ruined, but it's also not our goal. Okay, so now I've made some green. Let's again, our goal is to do ethereal. Look, this is turning blue in the center. And it's because we've picked up some of that other mordant. I'm just trying to spin this around because I don't want all the, even though they're ethereal flowers, I don't want them to all look the same. Okay, so what can we do in the center of this flower? Well, we'll do the same dots again, just for the moment. Maybe I'll do bigger dots. And this is the fun, is that you don't have to plan it out or anything. You can just make it up as you go. And now let's take some of this. This is the plain again. Let's put that over here. And we've made green and we've made it regular. Let's make the citric acid, which will make it a little more red. Where's the citric acid? Right here. So we're going to add in a dusting of the citric acid. This new microphone, I made another video. This is the second time I've used this microphone. And it's so great because before I kind of had to yell so I could be heard, so I could be picked up on the mic. But this new mic, I don't have to do that anymore, which is great for me. You guys probably don't care at home, but it is easier, especially because it's late at night and I'm tired. I mean, it's almost 10 o'clock at night and I'm just doing this to relax before it's time to go to bed. And so yelling, plus, my wife doesn't want me yelling at I think she thinks it's a little crazy that I'm making videos, especially because my art, especially my art at 10 o'clock at night, looks like a child did it, but I don't care. Isn't it great to reach that age where you don't care anymore? I'm just having fun. I mean, the art to me is almost secondary to the ability to make the paint. I just have so much fun making the botanical paints. And, I want to do fun art too, but I don't want to be too stressed out about the art. Okay. Let's see what happens if we can we get enough of this green? You guys, I'm almost off camera here. I've got this over here on the edge. Can I get enough of this green to make some dots in the center here? And if I do make green dots on this citric acid, will it change the color? Let's find out. I'm just doing a bunch of dots now because why not? Okay, there we go. Now so we've got plain purple iris, we've got citric acid, we've got hydrated lime. So let's make a blue alum. To do that, we will need to take some of our plain, move it over here. This paint is starting to dry. And I'm gonna add 1 drop of water and then add just a dust. Like that was 2 grains, so we might want, 4 grains. But the tiniest bit of alum and 1 drop of water. And I'm almost thinking that that's still a little too dry, so I'm gonna add 1 more drop of water. Then we will scrape this off, and as with before, and it does react to the paper too, the pH of the paper, and also the sizing. I don't know if if everyone knows that paper has sizing on it, which is a chemical, which is a really a cocktail of chemicals that are used in the process of making paper, and the sizing is meant to make this paper not stick to the machinery and to make it dry smooth instead of rough without any rough texture on it. And we just hope that the sizing does not include any PFAS nonsense forever chemicals. I haven't been able to. What I've read online says that most of the paper probably does not have PFAS in it. I just hope that's true. What I don't understand is why can't we make things without downstream consequences in this world, All right, you guys don't want to have me talking about all of that. But as soon as I put this on here, you can see that it immediately begins changing from purple to blue, which is the fun of it. And then let's take the liner brush. Let's take the liner brush and pick up some of this green, and we'll make some radiating lines and see, it may change the color because we're painting it onto the paint that's got alum in it. So maybe it'll change the color, maybe it won't. We're gonna find out. So far, it's still staying green. Okay. So again, these are just ethereal, kind of weird flowers. And let's see, let's get our brush back. And let's I'm gonna make something else. What are we gonna make? We should try to fill this page. Do you think I can make a 4-petal flower? Probably not. I don't know why, I don't want to feel like I have to be too precise. I almost like that 3-petal flower just the way it is, but if I was going to do a 3-petal flower, I probably would have done it a little different orientation on the page. Okay. So now we've got a 4-petal flower. What shall we put? I guess we could let it dry for a second. Clean the brush. And then we could figure out something to put under it. And then let's take what's left of the green here and try to do a 3-petal flower, which really would be something like this, don't you think? It's almost like a fleur-de-lis, except that I have too much water and not enough paint because we're almost out of the green. So I guess we're just gonna have to make more, my friends. We're gonna have to make more. Maybe that will dry a little darker. Okay, so let's set this off to the side and let's make some more green. We still have some dried petals here. 1, 2, 3 drops. And green, the mordant for green is hydrated lime. Just a tiny bit of hydrated lime. And trying to grind that smooth. And it's become pretty dry on the mulling slab, so I'm gonna add one more drop of water. All right, I think that's ready to go. Okay, so we've got some more green. Let's clean this off so we can move our book back over here without getting paint all over it, and clean this off so that it's ready when we need it in a moment and doesn't have dried paint all over it. In which case it will have to soak. When I was this afternoon, I was eating lunch and I thought, oh, I'm gonna try to paint something tonight, and I looked over and my muller had not been washed and it was completely coated in red paint made with rose petals, and I had to soak it in a bowl of water over the afternoon so that we could be ready to paint this evening. So I violated my own rule of clean so that it doesn't take too long. I mean, clean immediately so that it doesn't, because it's going to make a mess otherwise. Okay, fleur-de-lis, kind of a fleur-de-lis. Let's, again, I'm not trying to be too, I don't want to be too realistic, because then that is not as fun, at least to me. But in the meantime, we're gonna have something to, we're gonna have something to do, to draw, to paint. Okay, I'm just making stuff up here. Just making up shapes. Okay, so I don't know. This looks almost like a Tudor, I don't know. It looks medieval to me. Of course, come to think of it, this kind of looks medieval also. Nothing wrong with a little medieval. All right, let's take some of this red and do what with it? Do you know what could be fun is to try to do concentric circles like a ranunculus. And then what will we do? Then let's take some of this blue, and I don't want to fill in the lines totally, but if we just dot some in here, I think it looks even more like a ranunculus, or almost a straw flower. I grew straw flowers in the garden this summer. Which reminds me that I need to go pull some of the straw flowers. Of course, they're going to be pretty frozen tonight. Anyway, I don't know. I kind of think that maybe we should leave that alone. Should I fill this center in? Or no? Well, I did, one way or the other. Okay. All right. What else should we do? You guys might have seen in the other video that I was printing snowflakes. Let's print a green snowflake, shall we? Or maybe we'll just print this circle of this. Also, I have autumn leaves. Okay, well, I don't know what that is that I've made, but it's a something. It's a something. Just making it up. Just to have something fun to do that doesn't involve watching TV or playing video games. But, you know, something that is actual physical that we can, I just like to make things, if that makes any sense. Okay, and I hope that this inspires you guys at home to think about making things also. Because once you see how it's not too hard to make this paint, even using the dried stuff. Let's print this leaf. Ooh, let's use some of this green paint and print this leaf because I've run out of ideas for flowers. So if you run out of ideas, you just start doing whatever. Okay, so I've just set that on there and then I'm just gonna press, 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 press. And I got this wooden shape. I got a whole kit of these shapes at the $1.25 store. It all came in one kit. There was a Christmas one and a nature one. And this nature one also has butterflies. Let's take a, we'll do a butterfly. I don't know, I like that. I think that's fun. Let's try to do blue on the butterfly, shall we? This butterfly is so small that it's going to be hard to get it on there without me getting paint all over everything, but we'll try it. Squish. Oh, see, that made a nice butterfly. All right, now since on this one, I just painted in the circle of the snowflake, so we might as well do the whole snowflake now. And now I'm just using whatever color I've got left here because we're almost out of paint again. But that's okay, because there's more petals here, we can make some more. I want to fill this whole page. Press. Ta-da! Snowflake, kind of fun. Okay, and then here's some more petals. Not tons of petals. To see if I can get any more emptied out of this dried iris. And we'll put 1, 2, 3. Was that 3? Can't. I wasn't paying too much attention. Okay. And grind this in. And it's a little dry. Oh, I think I accidentally put 3 more drops of water on, which is probably too much water, but too late now. I might have to, one thing you can do sometimes if you get too much water on the slab is just mull it a little longer, because mulling it spreads the surface area of the water and it will dry faster. Okay, that's pretty thin. Scrape this off of the muller. Wipe the muller clean with my rag cloth. All right. Here's another leaf sort of a thing. And instead of using the paintbrush, I'm using the spatula. I don't know why, I just am doing it. This is how I'm painting now. I'm doing spatula painting, I guess. Okay, so I put paint on there. Let's press that on there. And then pull it off. Ta-da! There's the print. And that's just plain. Of course, there's probably all kinds of little residue of mordant on this tray, but I didn't specifically add anything into that one. Okay. Let's see, what else can we do? All right. Let's take a little bit of this with a touch of our hydrated lime. That's probably too much hydrated lime, but oh well. Put a drop of water on, mold that in because we want to turn it green. Then let it not waste this paint, try to dab it off onto the slab. And just look at this, all of this is made from all of this is made from one single purple iris flower. I just think that that's the fun of this. It's kind of crazy that you can do all of this from one single purple iris flower. Okay. And I kind of didn't make enough green there, but there's a hint of green on there. Let's take this liner brush and get some of this darker and maybe put some veining into here. Because why not? Right? I don't know, I kind of like it like that. And then, is there anything else fun in here? I see Christmassy things. We've already done a butterfly. Well, I've got these wooden beads. Let's paint some onto a wooden bead and see what kind of thing we can make with that. We'll just paint it like this. Okay, that didn't really make much. Oops, and now I got this too wet. But it's making little rings. There, it's a flower stamp. Can you tell it's getting awfully late? Okay. Now look, we have a stem on there. We have a stem on there. I feel like we should fill this space right here, but I don't know what with. I guess we'll just sop up whatever little paint we can get off of here, and maybe we'll just do a 2-petal flower. Oh, I know what we can do. We'll do 2-petal, and then we can take whatever little paint we can find on here, which is not really very much. And we can do like little, like that. Okay. So there's a page of just sort of fun, nonsensy, relaxing. You know, what is a little bit sad about this is that it's snowy and cold outside, and so you can tell from what I'm doing that I want spring to be here. You can tell just by looking. at what's coming out of my brain, that winter has just started and I'm too old for it. I don't want there to be this much winter. Thank you, friends. And just remember again that this was from one single dried petal of purple iris. We made all of this from one flower. I guess I shouldn't say one petal because it was a whole flower, but one of these dried flowers. There's one right there. One of these dried purple iris flowers. We made all of this with these different colors, red, violet, blue, green. That's just fun. I just think it's fun. Thank you for playing with me, everyone. I hope that wherever you are and whatever you're doing, that you're taking a little time to find something relaxing to do. Thank you for spending some of your relaxing time with me doing botanical paints. And I will be with you again soon. Thanks, friends. Bye.